Star Trek Con is nearing its completion. We're past episode 6 now, and the nerves are really getting frayed. I think more so with this episode than the past episode, although this theme came up at the end of the previous episode. This one is kind of steeped in it, and what I mean by that is we're starting to go a little bit crazy. We're starting to go insane in the membrane. Previously, these people could be expected to act in a rational way. That is no longer the case for our Star Trek Khan characters. Not specifically Khan, but the people around him. We are acting in ways that are irrational and that we are lashing out. We are causing more problems for ourselves than we are fixing. And that's very, very bad, especially when the planet is in the state it's in. And I think specifically with this episode, more so than any other episode, is that the psychology of our characters is being examined. And I see these people now more so as just humans than augments. I see the humanity here. I see how they really are just humans that have been toyed around with. Humans that have been born into a destiny that is not of their own making. Okay? And here's where they ended up. And I can see now the old mentality of these humans, the humans from the past in this universe, the World War III humans, I feel like they are now. And as we examine them, we see that not the innate villainy, but we see the circumstances of the utilitarianism of their life. They were born into a world of pure utility. That is World War III. And here, without spoiling too much, we're given gifts, right? We expect nothing in return. Right, and that is very confusing to Khan. That's very confusing to basically all of the World War III humans that we have here. Not to go into too much detail, but how would you feel if a vastly superior being of who is smarter in intelligence and more advanced in technology gave you something for which they expected nothing in return? Would you be confused? Would you just accept it? Would you accept things on face value, right? If you were Khan and you were born into World War III, how would you view that, right? Raising the question, has anybody given Khan anything without respecting anything in return? Have people been nice to Khan? That's the question. And here it really looks like somebody is, but there's a fly in the ointment. Remember last episode when I reviewed it and I was saying I was hoping we were going to see some intrigue on the Excelsior? Nominally where the story takes place as this story unfolds over old recorded tapes that were made on the planet's surface, City Alpha 5, and we're viewing them on the Excelsior. I was hoping for the story to kind of shift to the Excelsior, and we're getting a little bit of that here. Are they psychic? They're reading my mind? Maybe there's other psychic characters in this story, and not just the writers, because they know what I wanted. We're getting involved with Sulu, Tuvok, Lear, the main character of this whole story. She's the one who set this all off, after all, the historian looking for these historical documents. We're getting involved on the ship, and we're asking that question again, like what was going on with Ceti Alpha 5, and could we have known that Ceti Alpha 6 was going to be destroyed? And just when you think you've heard the final twist for this episode, just when you think you've heard the twist and you know the name of this other character that's introduced last episode, and this episode indeed is about, we learn something else about that character. I won't really say what it is, but it's there at the very end to intrigue you and to hook you in for the next episode. Mainly, who are these people? Who are our new friends? Who are these World War III humans? And to where and to what degree do their psychologies differ? And they know, we know, that Marla is different. This person is from the future after World War III. She's from the Enterprise, right? She's not a World War III human. And now we have that mediator in this plot. Without giving too much away, it's all very, very compelling. We should definitely, though, see I really want to have an episode entirely on the Excelsior. I don't know if it's going to happen entirely, but we are getting to that point. And we are seeing maybe where Tuvok and Sulu are butting heads, right? And there is a funny moment. I did get a laugh out of this when it wasn't all scares, although this episode was very scary. This is some horror stuff happening here, if I may say so. I did laugh, specifically with an interaction between Sulu and Tuvok. Where's that show? Where's that show? Anyway, you can definitely see how having a character in Tuvok who is distanced from Khan and the character Sulu who has seen Khan, how they view this differently. One of them is saying, oh, let's take the logical course of action. Who do you think that is? Blah, blah, blah. Is Khan this figurehead, this tip of the spear of pain shoved into human reality, or is Khan the character that Lear is proposing? Tragic, victim in their own right. I think you get the picture. And Sulu, basically, I believe the episode opens like this too. Sulu is more or less saying that if Khan, to have the peace in his mind that he wants, requires that we take it from other people by force, then it actually doesn't matter what happens to him. Like, it doesn't matter that he's around anymore, and I just want him gone. And this sounds like somebody who has went face to face with Khan, right? And there you can see that there is a difference in psychology between the people who have fought with Khan, the people who are Khan's friends, the people who aren't involved at all, and the people who are not from World War III, in a sense. The people who are living in a world where altruism is something that's actually possible, right? The idea that somebody would give you something for no reason versus the idea that your enemies, perceived or otherwise, are out to get you, and one of the ways they'll get you is to trick you into a false sense of security. You can see the clash of ideas and the clash of psychologies in this episode. I think when you hone into it, that's what it's about. When you really get deep down. And to continue, without spoiling the end of this episode, we should be seeing how that relationship inverts or goes sour in some way. Okay, because the friends now, I suspect, aren't going to be the friends forever. And one person's opinion about our new friends is going to differ from someone else's opinion. And some of our characters are just helpless. Some of our characters are probably just violent. And I mean, if you bought in to a childish idea of Khan and who this character was, you can see your feelings with that character be punished in another, in that there is another character who was just evil, who was just crazy, and we even give them lip service as well. We tell the audience in this script that they were born into battle. Okay, that's it. They don't understand anything else. These people are a weapon in and of themselves until they prove otherwise, and our attempts to prove otherwise, they end up failing because these people are fallible, right? They're more fallible than Marla from the Enterprise, our character that we inherited from Space Seed, the classic TOS episode. Go watch it. What else you should be watching is Star Trek Con, and those are my generalized thoughts so far with this episode of Star Trek Con. Very fun, interesting, scary, a few laughs here and there, and I must say, overall, if I'm jumping the gun here or not, I don't know. We're almost done here. We got, 3 episodes left? I'm getting ready to call it. I'm getting ready to call it like this is the one. This is, it is so unfair to review the previous episodes in New Trek, if you'll forgive me using that parlance. I reviewed them strictly on things like visual, sound, these things, and when you don't have that visual element, how am I to review this in comparison to those? If you would just trust a broad brush assessment, I would just say if you would trust me on this, I would say this is better than Discovery. I would say this is better than Strange New Worlds. Since we got season 3, it's definitely better now. It's better than the first few seasons of Picard, even without the visuals. And for the life of me, I don't know now if visuals would help. It's so much of your brain wants to say, I wish this had visuals, but then there's another section of your brain that's saying, what do visuals really do? If you know Star Trek and you know what it's supposed to look like, do you need the visuals? It's kind of a strange question. I've never asked myself this before, and I don't know if I would have had I not listened to an audio series, but I'm asking the question now. But people who don't really know the visuals of Star Trek aren't going to have the same experience. So what I'm saying is kind of not fair. Right? You understand that. Anyway, I'm Lieutenant Mark. I'm glad you were able to follow me on this whole diatribe, and I'll see you for the next episode of Star Trek On. Are you watching? You're watching this.